Hey, so today was a lot. Um, I basically realized, my self reflection and self awareness has been driving me crazy. And for once in my life, I'm finding it really hard to talk about my feelings. Not for once in my life, but for the first time in a long time, I am processing things in a different way. I'm not trying to say normal way because there's no normal way to process things, but basically this morning I am doing an OCD study, and I can talk about it because I asked them if I could talk about it. It's not an experiment. They're just trying to kind of like look at the symptoms that I have, and like we're gonna take there's like 300 of us. Also, I look beautiful right now. Um, there's like 300 of us, and they're gonna compare our MRIs all together. So I'm gonna get an MRI in a couple weeks, and I'm really, really excited because I have been wanting to know what my brain looks like for a very, very long time. And this is just like a tangent, but I couldn't I couldn't get a brain scan because I had a retainer. And if I get into the MRI machine, it's literally going to like yank out of my skull. So I got that removed so that I could get an MRI and I could participate in a study. And things just worked out exactly the way I wanted them to. Thank you. Anyway, so I had this study today. And I knew that this was going to be very triggering because OCD is not something that I talk about a lot in therapy. And for better for worse, whatever. I know that I've had it, and I know that like it is something that like I deal with. But I have a lot of coping mechanisms. And what I have recently realized, and this was before today as well, is that these coping mechanisms are also compulsions. So, there should be a healthy balance of self assurance, taking care of myself, letting these thoughts pass through. But I was using compulsions to soothe the compulsions that I had. So, for example, when I get the scary thought that I'm going to jump in front of the train, instead of being like, no, you're not, that's not you, I immediately think there's another version of me that jumped in front of the train and I'm glad I didn't. And then I think of myself dying. Which sounds so insane to say out loud. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's normal. That happens at least once a day when I'm taking the train. I think about that. Um so realizing that a lot of these mental rituals, these mental habits that I have that I thought were helping me were also increasing the anxiety. So that was a lot to understand and unpack and realize in the past couple of days. And on top of that, there was this one question on the survey. So we did half of it was kind of like not a conversation. I call it a conversation because I don't say yes or no to anything. I always give like an explanation. But she was doing we were doing half of the survey out loud, half the survey on the computer, but she was like watching me. I don't even know if she had to watch me, but like part of me wanted to keep my camera on because this was all through Zoom, even though I probably would have been fine if she wasn't watching me. I don't know. I didn't ask, but I also just assumed that like she had to watch me do it. Anyway, when I was doing the personal survey, or the survey that wasn't out loud, I get this question, and I want to say it out loud because this question made me laugh out loud, and I had to step away from my computer and stretch and take a break, and I don't know. It was a lot. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Where are these located? So, there's two things that I realized. One of the questions was, I am obsessed that I might become a particular person. And I was so shocked because for the past 6 months, I want to say, no, I think it's gotten worse since like starting around like Christmas time. I have become obsessed with being a better person. I've become obsessed with doing things to be something in the future, to be a better person in the future. This is good today because this is good for me in the future. Or this is me for tomorrow. This is me for tomorrow. This is me for tomorrow. And in some ways, it's helped me be able to wake up the next morning and be thankful that I took care of myself. But in the opposite way, when I don't do things, I beat myself up for it because I'm not taking care of this person that I want to become, or that I want to be in the future. And that genuinely is so insane. And what I do notice about this realization, this aha moment that I'm having right now, is that it doesn't feel good as all of these other aha moments that I've had before. Because in the past couple of months, I've been doing these video journals, and I've always been someone who journals and like self-reflects a lot. But in the past like 6 months, I've been obsessed with figuring myself out to the point where what I think is happening is I'm so anxious, I'm so stressed. The only way to calm myself down is to go into these obsessive spirals, asking myself, why do I do this? Well, this is because of this. Well, this actually connects to this. Wow, I've been feeling this for a while. This feels very similar. I've been trying to connect the dots. I've been keeping a notes list I've been keeping a note in my phone of all these patterns that I'm finding. And I'm going to my friends and I'm asking them how are they feeling, and sometimes they relate and sometimes they don't, and I'm writing down the dates and I'm trying to figure out the astrology in all of it, and like trying to figure. I'm obsessed with everything around me except for what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's why I procrastinate, because I don't want to be doing this homework. I don't want to be doing this stuff. And the only thing that feels good is completing the task. That is the only thing that feels good. When I finish a homework assignment, or when I am working for 3 hours straight, no distractions. It's not the work itself, it is the completion of it. And that was another question that popped up. It says, there is nothing like the feeling I have when something is satisfactorily completed. And that was crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, like I said, the difference between figuring this out about myself and these other like episodes that I keep having. I'm gonna start calling them episodes now, because that's literally what is happening. I'm so anxious, so stressed out in my like daily life that the only way to like soothe myself is to rip myself apart every single night before I go to bed. That is how I self-soothe. That is how I take care of myself, and it feels good. Because yeah, I'm connecting the dots. The same feeling that it feels to pick a scab, or like pull out my hair is the same emotional feeling and response I get when I find something out about myself. Guys, what? I'm obsessed with self-reflection. I'm compulsively thinking about myself all the time, so I like so that happened this morning. It was a lot to process. It was, and it felt really good. And I knew it felt good because I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel that emotional relief of, ugh, finally, I figured something out. Because I didn't figure anything out. I didn't figure anything out about this. It is simply, I just made an observation about myself. I didn't connect it to my childhood. I didn't connect it to my past. I didn't connect it to whatever. This feels almost more like, this feels so based in reality that this, like, all of these other things that I've been obsessed with and been thinking about have not been so real. And I'm going to use those words because what is real is this present moment right now. And that is just that's how I feel. Anyway. Yeah. So that happened this morning, and then I took a nap that was supposed to be 20 minutes, and I slept for 3 hours because that was a lot. And it's okay. I survived. I think it's better that I slept 3 hours than going to class. I don't know. I probably would have been exhausted in class. I also didn't get a lot of sleep. But I'm trying to make this before midnight. Anyway. So then after that, I almost canceled study plans with my friend, and I texted her and she misread the text, or the way I said what I meant to say sounded like I was coming later than I anticipated, but I really was meaning that I wasn't gonna show up, but then she was like, okay, I'll wait at the blah blah for you. And I was like, okay, just go. Don't cancel, because when you get anxious and when you get stressed, you go off to yourself, you go away, you hide in your room, and you journal, and you try to figure out why you're anxious. And that is not something that I'm going to be using as a self-soothing behavior anymore. So, with that being said, it's time for me to relax and clean my room. And I want to keep uncovering these things in a healthy way. Because I'm learning a lot about myself right now, and I'd like to share that. But I need to pace myself, because I can't keep this all or nothing feeling that I have, that I need to do everything right now, or something bad is going to happen, or I'm going to miss my shot, or if I don't say it right now, it'll never happen again. Because when I keep thinking these things, that is the only thing that's going to stay true. And yeah. So here's to literally never thinking about myself for a while.